Come one, come all to Nimmel's secondhand magic store. Great prices, vast selection, no bloodstains.
Tonight, gather around for 10 slightly used magic items.
That's how we roll. 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 That's how we roll.
Welcome to the Goblins Corner. My name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
And tonight,
We're talking about slightly used magical items.
yes indeed, tonight we have 10 slightly used magic items, all from the Dungeon Master's Guide, all of them with slightly bizarre quirks that you can use in your campaign to add a little bit of whimsy to your game.
Yeah, some cinematic flair, if you will.
We enjoy all of that. So if you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. Help us get our show out to more people and get notified when more amazing episodes come your way.
And hey, if you're listening to the show, give us a review on iTunes or Podchaser or wherever else you listen to podcasts.
Do the right thing, folks. Get us famous. So normally, the way that our show works is Matt will write a bullet point list of ideas. I will interject, a few sentences of
Right.
and we create a show. And we ad-lib the rest of it.
Yes.
But tonight, I have been divinely inspired because I was stuck in an airport and I just had to do something. I was bored.
Sure.
And so what I have done is I have come up with 10 magic items directly from the DMG, but we've given them some quirks. And we're using the story of this unscrupulous merchant called Nimmel. So Nimmel is a merchant and purveyor of used magic items. How delightful. All of the items were legally obtained, so says the forged paperwork, and are usable for you in your favorite game. This is where we're going with.
Right. It's simple. And you can do this with literally any magical item. Just take a magic item and then twist it ever so slightly.
Just a bit. Now, we've mentioned this before, but
It goes without saying, we love quirks.
yes, any magic item has the potential to pick up a strange quirk, either due to players just using the magic item, or magical locations, which we've gone into great detail about in previous episodes, exposure to magic or spells, demigods, anything really.
Sure.
Maybe just picks it up just at random. Quirks go a long way to provide lore, enrich your story, and make these boring-ass magic items more interesting.
Because some magic items are useful but not interesting.
Yes. So we figured what quirks could develop right out of the box from standard issue magic items. Well, let's find out.
Sure.
So what I've done is I've come up with 10 magic items directly from the DMG. We've even included a sales pitch from Nimmel.
We're going to describe the quirks or abilities that have developed from these items being in use.
And we're going to provide a little bit of lore behind the item's previous owners, which may have caused the strange quirks to develop.
Sure. Let's get started. At first, you have a Heward's Handy Haversack.
This comes out of the DMG page 174. It is a rare magic item. And again, we got a sales pitch, quirks and abilities, a little bit of lore that goes with this.
All right, what's the sales pitch?
One Haversack, brown in color, gently used but still functional. Some color staining and general fraying on the straps. Very sparkly. On sale today only.
All right. What are the quirks and abilities of this thing?
Any object placed within the Haversack will come out changed. It will either come out a random color or be entirely covered in shiny glitter. This hinders stealth rolls according to the amusement factor of the DM.
Sounds awful.
It's
Sounds
awesome.
terrible.
It is absolutely awesome.
What is the lore behind this?
Nimnak Delaney was a rogue who crossed the wrong Fae on a particularly sensitive infiltration mission. To his horror, the Fae permanently cursed him and all he owned with an epic glitter bomb. While this did no damage to the rogue, his inability to hide proved to be his inevitable undoing. Because if you can't hide as a rogue, and you're covered in shiny glitter.
Yeah, then you're in deep trouble.
Yeah.
My argument is that this backpack was literally just owned by a 6-year-old girl.
This also would be just fine for developing a quirk. Because if any of you have a 6-year-old girl,
You have glitter everywhere.
You have glitter everywhere. I happen to have a 6-year-old girl.
You do.
There's glitter everywhere in the house. It breeds.
It does. It's craft herpes, man.
Oh, it's awful. That's it. As you can see, very simple, easy to do. Add a little quirk. What a great lore and story behind this.
Yeah, it's fun. It doesn't harm anything. And as stated, right, the detriment is at the whim and amusement of the DM.
Yes. Round 2, we've got a animated shield. Dungeon Master's Guide 151, very rare. Matt, please read the sales pitch.
Recently acquired shield, animated, well cared for. Owner gets percentage of local business sales. Inquire today.
What's the quirks and abilities of the animated shield?
Firstly, and I would argue most importantly, it smells of coffee.
Yes.
Every third activation, the shield transforms into a banner for Lufnif's coffee, based out of Waterdeep. Illusionary hands spin the banner enticingly back and forth. The shield functions normally otherwise.
Yes. I want you to picture this. It's an animated shield.
And it's one of the little banner spinner guys.
Well, it's a normal shield, but on
Yeah.
every third activation, it turns into the banner spinners. And but it still blocks all of your attacks. Can you imagine this in a
I feel
battle?
like that's more effective because that has to do some sort of morale damage.
That's got to mess people up. What's the lore behind this animated shield, Matt?
Rabolo the Merciful was a paladin of great prowess and renown, and tales of his exploits were sung by bards across the land. Eager to cash in on his brother's fame, Lufnif convinced Rabolo to help him promote his coffee house with a simple magical alteration to his animated shield.
That's it.
That-
Again, does no change
Yeah.
at all.
You could even argue that it's literally just an illusion wrapped around the animated shield.
That would be hilarious as well. But what a great flavor for this game.
Sure. Who doesn't love the little banner spinner guys, man? They work hard.
Get your boring ass animated shield. Now it's helping promote your brother's coffee place. That's great.
I think after combat for 1d4 rounds, you have to dance with it.
I would be fine with
That's-
that as well. Yeah, a little bit add a little bit more quirk to it.
Yeah,
Why not?
little banner dancers, man. You got to have them.
That would be amazing.
Especially for an uptight character. That would
Yes.
be delightful.
Yes.
It's almost like a minor curse. The next magic item are Boots of Striding and Springing, DMG 156, uncommon. What's the sales pitch for these?
Well-loved but sturdy magical boots conform to any size feet. Reversible colors match your style. Be the daddy Mac and put some stride in your step with these enchanted boots.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go, folks. What are the quirks and abilities of these boots?
The laces are crisscrossed. Any tracks made appear to be facing backwards.
All right. That is both an interesting quirk and potentially useful. What is the lore behind these boots?
These were owned by a child sorcerer with a tendency to wear their clothes backwards. And if those of you who weren't alive in the 80s don't get the reference, it's from the band Crisscross.
Right. There were
8 or 9 references at least,
Yeah.
but that's fine. Some people still didn't get it. We have a weapon of warning for our 4th magic item, Matt. This is out of the DMG page 213 and is an uncommon item. What can we do with this weapon of warning? Check out the sales pitch.
acid-etched, exquisitely detailed sword for the dungeon delver. Very alert. Never be surprised by monsters or anything again.
Ooh, sounds interesting. What are the quirks of this magic item?
The enchantment causing the warning is tuned to a hair trigger. As such, it will awaken/alert the user to anything larger than a rodent every time.
It works as said.
Sure.
No problems at all with this. What's the lore behind this sword? How did it get to be this way?
This sword has recently fought a polymorphed black dragon and having taken acid damage is very concerned for its safety. It considers any creature larger than a rat to be a dragon in disguise. The adventurer, Mabin the Bright, finally sold the weapon of warning to a traveling merchant after many sleepless nights.
I love this mental picture. Again, in my head, I see this adventurer Maven the Bright just, oh God, this damn sword.
Shut up.
I see something. It's a squirrel. It's a squirrel. Get up. It's not a polymorph dragon. I told you for the 9th time. I'm getting rid of this damn sword.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you got to
Can't get
do.
a long rest in.
Oh God, that would be
That's problematic.
literally an exhausted adventurer.
Exactly.
That sucks. And you have to attune to that thing too. Harsh way to live, man.
Yeah, it's tough, but in very dangerous places.
It would be great.
It's super useful.
Yes.
Our next item is a figurine of Wondrous Power Onyx Dog, DMG 170, rare.
Here comes the sales pitch. I love everything about this. Onyx Dog figurine, very powerful, like new. Good for a bard or a musically minded adventurer.
Okay.
Yeah, the quirk lies somewhere within.
Sure. What are the quirks and abilities of this dog?
The Onyx Dog has developed several personality quirks over time. During combat, it will often rap while it attacks others. Additionally, upon command, it can perform a slam.
There we go.
You were waiting for it, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. All right. What's the lore behind this?
The Sticky Fingers, a band of bards and thieves, were said to have owned this figurine, and their unorthodox tactics and music seem to have rubbed off on the magic object.
There you go.
I know, you're sensing a music theme this evening.
Sure.
We've gone from 80s hip-hop to 90s hip-hop.
And why not?
And why not? Speaking of other things that we often question why not, we've got what?
Question of the week.
All right, Matt, what interesting question of the week do you have for me this week? Is it magic object related?
It is. It's actually quirk related.
Okay.
What quirk would an item you possess begin to develop?
Oh God, there could be all kinds of things. I mean, if it was produced by a charge, it would automatically drain after the first day because I drain batteries like nobody's business. I would say something along the lines of any object capable of producing flame would produce flame in a random direction at a random strength, given the fact that I've already exploded once. This, by the way, is a true story, folks. I literally did. I blew up
1.5 times.
1.5 times?
1.5.
That is true. I did blow up almost twice.
Right.
There was that grill incident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, fair enough. What about you? What unusual quirk would an object develop in your presence?
I think clearly it would be my backpack because I always have it with me. Any liquid placed in my backpack rises in either caffeination or proof.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And sometimes, on rare, wonderful occasions, both.
Yes. That would be 100% fitting with your character. I love that. Yeah. Plus, how useful would that be?
That'd be wonderful for me.
Of course, we're always interested in the wonderful answers you give us, and if you have any, hit us up at Goblin's Corner on Twitter, Mastodon, Blue Sky, all the various social media channels that Matt loves to post to.
Facebook. Also, you can comment down below.
Right here.
Yep. It's almost like there's a spot just for that.
So we're talking about slightly used magical items. We've already talked about 5 of them. We've got 5 more to go, and the next one up is a Daern's Instant Fortress. DMG 160 rare magic item, Matt. And I believe you have the sales pitch for this one.
Well-loved Instant Fortress for sale. Tropical themed. Owner updated and modified. Travel with your home safe and stylish. Schedule at the front desk for home hours.
I love this idea of it being tropical themed. What are the quirks of this Daern's Instant Fortress, Matt?
This Daern's Instant Fortress has been refurbished to look like a tiki bar or tiki tower.
Tiki tower, because it's an instant fortress. It's 20 feet tall.
Sure. Tropical flowers and colorful artwork adorn the walls, while the fortress itself appears to be constructed from grass and reeds, while still being adamantine. Soft island music or ocean waves, the owner's choice, can be heard within the tower walls at all times.
This sounds awesome. Again, this is a quirk. Now, obviously, minor illusion effects, so they could be slightly unbalanced, but let's
Not
face
really.
it. Yeah.
They're not.
They're not. It's a tiki tower, right? No one's going to mess with that. This is totally within the DM's realm to say, yes, something ridiculous like this exists.
Sure. My thing is, you have a Daern's Instant Fortress. Painting it does not change the power level of it in any way.
That's a good point. Yeah, you could just paint it.
I'm just saying, like, for the purposes of this exercise, it's strictly visual, so it's not a problem.
Yep. What's the lore behind this Daern's Instant Fortress?
Mabel, the storm sorceress, greatly loved the ocean, the sun, and strong rum punch.
Who doesn't?
Right? After acquiring this instant fortress, she upgraded it to remind her of the island nation where she was born.
How delightful. I could see it almost being like a Margaritaville style, too.
Absolutely. Like, it definitely has to be like tourist trap plastic tiki.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be proper tiki.
I could totally see her familiar as a parrot.
Yeah, that would be great. I think also maybe it pops out some lawn flamingos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe
Just
even. Yep.
Just pops right out when you open it up. Wonderful.
Next up, number 7. Mithral Armor. DMG 182. Uncommon. So what is the sales pitch for this Mithral Armor?
Mithral. Why cover yourself in inferior metal when you can be embraced by Mithral? Be the talk of the town in your very own Mithral Armor.
All right. So what are the quirks and abilities of this?
The quirk is people seem to think it's way cooler than it actually is. Come on, think about it. In Lord of the Rings, all the dwarves, oh, look, it's Mithral. And people bring up, oh, look, it's Mithral Armor. Whoa, it's armor. That is magical. It's lightweight.
Sure.
But it's just Mithral Armor.
Gotcha.
So it has developed this quirk that everyone else thinks is really cool.
What is the lore behind this?
This armor was crafted by Brentley Lightforge, a dwarven cleric of Moradin, who spoke about the finely crafted armor at every opportunity. Look at my Mithral Armor. Isn't it delightful?
It's Mithral,
It's Mithral, Yes. Did you see my armor? Oh, were you noticing my Mithral Armor? Brentley's praise of the light armor didn't go unnoticed and was recently lifted from his cooling corpse.
Probably should have gotten a Mithral helmet.
Yeah, Talk about your armor in the wrong place, someone's going to steal it.
Yeah, it's shiny. It's got to be worth something.
That's what you get. For our 8th slightly used magic item, we have a Driftglobe. This comes out of the DMG 166. It's an uncommon item. And by the way, I like the idea of Driftglobes again because 3rd edition didn't really have them lying around. Now you can just get them anywhere. Driftglobes everywhere.
Sure.
Just open up a door where the broom closet is and just get bowled over with Driftglobes.
No, sir, they're uncommon. They are only found in the lavatory.
Ah, there you go. Okay, fair enough.
Not the broom closet.
What's the sales pitch of this particular Driftglobe, Matt?
One Driftglobe. Slightly used, but very functional. Never venture into a darkened area without your trusty light. Fun at parties.
All right, that sounds great.
Sure.
What's the quirk of this Driftglobe?
The Driftglobe works as normal, but has a tendency to pulse with any beat present, like a strobe effect.
Yeah, treat it as a strobe effect.
Yep. The light also is slightly tilted to provide a dramatic angle.
Oh, yes, a jaunty angle for your jaunty Driftglobe.
Yeah, it's a dancing strobe light. That's what it's for. It's
Yep.
it's so you can have your own personal moment.
So what's the lore behind how this Driftglobe acquired the quirk?
Gibbernoose Claptrap Fingerdown Strumpet was a gnome bard with a penchant for flash mobs and music.
I want you to know I giggled every time I came up with the name for this.
That is a fun name.
That is a gnomish name, my friends.
And it only took me 2 tries to get it right. Over time, her Driftglobe began to absorb ambient sonic magic she conducted and added a pulse effect. Delighted, Gibbernoose used this to great effect both in battle and at the local tavern.
How delightful,
Yeah.
right? You got a strobe effect, have it pulse, screw up the orc's visual acuity, stab him in the face, go to the local tavern, get some dancing on, drink in the face.
Sure.
A lot of fun.
Pick some pockets.
Pick some pockets, absolutely.
In slow motion.
Yes.
Now we're going to talk about number 9, the Folding Boat. DMG 170. It is a rare item.
It is indeed.
I mean, it is a folding boat, so give me the sales pitch on this thing.
All right. And you'd think a folding boat, you can't put anything in this. Oh, yeah, you can. You could totally quirk this thing out. Sales pitch is, need a boat? We got a boat. We have one that folds and floats. Be the talk of the town with your very own folding boat.
All right. Yeah, I mean, we know it's useful. What are the quirks and abilities of it, though?
The quirk is everyone knows you're on a boat and never forget.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
on a boat.
T-Pain optional.
Sure. Maybe.
In my game, the ghost of T-Pain would definitely show up on the folding boat.
He's the coxswain bard.
Yes. Oh, God, that's even better. Yes.
All right. What is the lore behind this boat?
This magical boat was owned by a pair of obnoxious young nobles who made a point of pointing out how amazing they were on their own portable vehicle.
Because they're on a boat?
They're on a boat. Don't you
Sure.
ever forget.
You were in a mood for this one, weren't you?
I had so much fun coming up with this episode. Finally, we've come to the last slightly used magical item of the evening, a simple ring of evasion, Dungeon Master's Guide 191 rare item, Matt. Please tell me the sales pitch of this Ring of Evasion.
All right. Slightly singed but very fashionable silver ring inscribed with draconic numbers, zeros and ones mostly. Comes with a free pair of dented sunglasses.
All right, well, that sounds interesting. What a deal. You get sunglasses with it. What's the quirk of this Ring of Evasion?
You can evade as normal, but you do it way cooler and with sunglasses.
Oh, sorry. What a deal.
Right. Who doesn't love sunglasses? Thematically, evading an attack looks like bullet time from the Matrix. Feel free to include music, a leather coat, what other ridiculous effect. Like, I think you got to have shiny clothes.
You should have propeller heads playing in the background. Dun, 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 dun.
The crystal method, something. There's lots of options you could go with there. Visually, things should be shinier, crisper, and you should move within multiple visions of yourself.
It's literally just badass factor.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like, again, it's a Ring of Evasion, works exactly the same, but again, you just look really cool evading stuff.
Yeah, the camera zooms all the way around the image.
This is perfect for the rogue that is fashionable.
Indeed.
Yes. What's the lore behind this Ring of Evasion, Matt?
Mio was a renowned artificer and fighter who claimed he was the one.
The one, Mio.
His death at the hands of a very angry Pentadrome beat cop proved that he in fact was not.
Yeah, we're bringing back the Pentadrome beat cop, busting ass.
Sure.
That's what you get for messing with the Pentadrome beat cop.
Does that mean the Pentadrome beat cop is
Agent Smith?
Agent Smith?
Maybe so. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Something to think about. So there you have it. 10 slightly used magic objects that you can use, again, directly out of the DMG. No real major changes to any of these items. Just was added quirks, a little bit of lore and flavor. Mo flavor for you to use in your game.
Coat of paint, right? Like, change the flavor a little bit. Give it a little something to hold on to.
Just a little something,
Some
something.
personality.
Absolutely. Any questions or comments, hit us up at Goblin's Corner on Twitter, Mastodon, and all the socials. Did you enjoy this podcast? We've got a whole ton more of them. Subscribe to it on your favorite player, YouTube, and Twitch.
Click the 5 stars. Give us a review on iTunes and Podchaser, any other place you listen to podcasts. Also, on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. It helps get our show in front of more people, and it feeds the hungry algorithm.
She's currently walking up towards you with a billy club with its 5 different legs because it's a Pentadrome, and it's saying, "What are you doing here in this town, kid?"
Sure thing.
Algorithm's the Pentadrome beat cop. That's all the time we have for tonight. Once again, my name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
We'll see you next time.
Good night, folks. In a world where the Goblin's Corner is by Matt Staples
And Eric Holden. Show song by the mighty D20.
this has been a Subterranean production.
Coming soon.